Yeah. Hi, I'm doing great. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. How has your day been going so far?
It was a fantastic day. I did a lot of household chores today since my house help was on off today. So yeah, a pretty hectic day.
All right. So, what is your
Yeah.
mood generally like as of now, or especially before interviews?
Um, Especially before interviews, I'm kind of nervous. So because we don't know who the people will be. We will be, who will be conducting the interview, and how they will perceive our personality as to be in an interview scenario where you have to judge an individual in an span of few minutes or so.
Okay, hopefully you get more time than a few minutes this time, and we have Tanishq also with us. So, Shreya, before we proceed with the interview, I'm interested in knowing a bit more about you. So, can you briefly explain your life journey so far until this point?
Yeah, sure. So, I was born and brought up in Sonipat, Haryana, and then I shifted to Pune for my undergraduation. I did my undergraduation from Symbiosis School of Economics, and I completed my bachelor's with a major in economics. Subsequently, following my bachelor's degree, I am currently working in a financial service firm in Pune itself. So apart from work, I have recently developed um, uh, I have recently developed a passion towards capturing nature around me. So and I am looking forward to developing a further creative uh, uh, like I'm loving how the weather is in Pune, and capturing the skies around me. And apart from my this recent the I'm sorry. Yeah, the recent passion I have developed. Apart from that, in my school and my college, I have been, actively participating in events. In school, I have been a captain of my, head of the house, and I represented that. And following ahead in college, I participated in various events and organized fests which usually held in college. So yeah, that's pretty much about.
That's good to know. Tanishq, do you have any questions for Shreya?
Yeah, hi Shreya. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. You mentioned that you are from Sonipat, Haryana, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so are you someone who reads news daily, or are you frequent with the updates around going on?
um Not a bit, but I'm aware of if there is any major news which was world
Okay, give me,
gained.
yeah, before I get on to questions on your tell me about yourself, give me one Indian news and one international news.
Okay, so recent Indian news which I read about was the gas blast in Jaipur,
Okay.
and then following with uh, an international news about how uh, Jagmeet Singh, he has withdrawn the support to the NDA leader Justin Trudeau. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, that's good to know. So you mentioned that you are from Haryana.
yeah.
Can you tell me the HDA rank of Haryana?
I'm not sure about the Human Development Index of Haryana.
Okay, can you tell me the population and expected population of Haryana?
Yes, so the population will be around, it's around, I guess, 10 million.
10 million. Are you sure about
Yeah,
it?
I'm not sure, but I have read it like 3, 4 years ago, so not aware about the current population.
Okay, since you have majored in economics, right, in your UG and your master too. So can you tell me a brief difference between GNP and GDP?
Yes. So GNP is basically the gross national product, and GDP is gross domestic product. So gross domestic product includes all the value of all the goods and services which are produced inside India, being the geographical, including the geographical boundaries, and GNP is basically inclusive of if any foreign remittances or another things, like inclusive of that is GNP.
Okay, so what if I am earning at US,
Yes.
whatever I'm earning, how will
Mhm.
the GNP and GDP of both the nations represent my earning? If you want
So yeah, so you are if you are working in US,
US,
right?
I'm an
Yeah,
Indian, I'm working
yeah,
in US, yeah.
yeah. So India will include your income as GNP, and US will include your income as a GDP.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, you mentioned that you have some work ex in finance. Are you working with a
Yes.
financial company? What is the
Yeah.
name?
It's Tris Vista.
It is Vista. Okay. When was it founded?
It was founded in 2006.
And what do you exactly do?
So I am a research and investment analyst.
Mhm.
So my client is basically an institutional investor. So we kind of manage their investment manager. Uh, like they have a lot of managers of which they have invested their funds with, and we kind of monitor their portfolios about how they are performing, how their performance has been monthly, quarterly, or even annually.
Okay. Is there any specific tools that you use for an analysis?
Not specific tools as such, no.
Okay. Okay. Moving forward,
How does the Sorry, Tanish, go ahead.
the last question from my side. Moving forward, that you said that you have some interest in nature and you like capturing skies and everything.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the names of some of the constellations, three, four constellations?
um I'm not sure of.
Okay. Yeah. Shubhik, you can go forward.
Yeah, I was starting from that itself. You exactly what kind of nature? Maybe it's not the night sky you are very much fond of, but what exactly do you mean by you're fond of nature and capturing it?
So, since I have shifted to Pune, I have seen, like, you see the skies around. There are, beautiful patterns of clouds. So capture the clouds and, sky when, sunrises, and yeah, pretty much during the daytime.
Okay, so in that case, what are the different types of clouds that you know?
So I'm not sure about the different types of clouds which are, but y- yeah, like I have been capturing like it has been a recent activity or a passion which I have developed, but I will surely get into it and read about what are the different types of clouds. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to Trust Vista, you mentioned what the company does. What does your typical client pool look like? Because it's just a portfolio management company, if you ask me. Is there any differentiating factor for what you exactly do?
I'm sorry, your voice breaked a little in between. I got your question that what is I manage a portfolios of a particular institutional investors, and after that you asked about what is different.
Yes, what exactly is different about Trust Vista?
Okay, so in Trust Vista, our role entails of research and investment. So what I told you about portfolio management, it is just one sleeve of what I do. Apart from that, I have also worked on various clients, including venture capitalist, private equity. So we work on all these clients, and we have, um, like apart from what I do, my role entails doing financial modeling and even making research reports about how a particular industry is performing. And if a client asks us, like, research upon this particular stock market, say, uh, back then, for example, Chinese market, like how China is performing and how, they lowered their interest, and, a lot of FDI went there. So, yeah, basically, we also analyze things. Yeah.
What are the three parameters you look into when analyzing foreign markets? Not exactly industries or companies, when as foreign markets as a whole.
Foreign markets as a whole, like for a
Yeah, let us
particular
say for
country.
China. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, while analyzing a particular country, we look at a lot of measures, like about um, how the country as such is performing, like what has been their growth in terms of GNP and not GDP specifically. And then the second parameter we would look for would be how their stock market has performed in past, like if there has been a major, policy change by the government, how the stock market has performed, or how their investors would react ideally in a situation. And then moving towards the third parameter, it would be like, um, if I am an Indian resident and I am investing in, say, US market, so I would, probably want to learn about how they, what are the policies for a foreign investor to invest in a particular stock market, like how much they will be charging, what there will be fees, and things like that.
If that is okay for you to share, what are the few countries that you've already done an analysis on?
Actually, it is, we are not allowed to disclose that.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So, you mentioned that you are mostly into analyzing stocks and everything. So, if coming on to an personal basis, what is the primary difference between a core portfolio and a satellite portfolio?
So, core portfolio is basically in which you are, investing regularly and, monitoring it on a regular basis. And the satellite one is you come back after, a significant, amount of time, or, but you keep checking it regularly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, and what do you know about asymmetric returns from a stock?
So, by asymmetric, as the name suggests, that the returns are, not regular. There can be case where in a 1 month you will be getting a high return of 10 to 15%, and in another month it could be as volatile, and it could, fetch you a return of negative 5%.
What is your personal opinion on gold ETFs? Last question on this thing.
So, my personal view would be, uh, we like one should invest in gold ETFs, since if you look at history about how the gold as a commodity, how it has performed in past, so it has given an exponential return over the past 10 years, if
What is
we
an
see.
ETF? First, tell me what is an ETF.
So, ETFs is basically a kind of mutual fund where you invest your money, and there are different kinds of ETF, one being
Form. Full
yes
form
sir.
of full form of ETF.
um it is
It's
it's on
okay.
my back of my mind, but I cannot recall it right now.
Tell us through in the end of the interview if in case you recall it. Uh, since you do a lot of work on finance and you have a work ex on finance and investment side, I think that you would be willing to pursue your MBA on in finance only.
Yeah, right.
So are you sure about it, or are you open to, you know,
No, I'm sure about it. I want MBA in finance.
okay then. So why do you want to do an MBA then?
So, MBA is basically a roadmap towards how a particular, like, I have done commerce in my 11th and 12th, and then subsequently I chose economics honors because I like playing with numbers and number crunching. So mm, I developed an interest in finance in my college. Like I went through subjects like corporate finance and portfolio management during my undergraduation, because of which I developed an interest in finance. And now, while working in a financial institution, like a financial service firm, I got to know that doing an MBA is must, where you get to learn a little more about what you have right now, because I have experienced this personally. Like there are a lot of things which my senior or my manager would be able to do it a lot uh, easily than what I could do. So it is all because of their knowledge and networking, and how they have experience over time. So MBA would help me to uh, cross that pathway and reach to what, as a finance enthusiast, or how a finance role would lead to a holistic development through
Since
completing.
since you are so much sure about finance and you are saying that you have seen things that a manager do just because of their expertise and knowledge onto the fields, you must have gone through the curriculum of a B school of what they teach in finance deeply.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell me some of the basic aspects of what consists of the curriculum of finance in a B school?
So, while going through the curriculum, I read that there is there was one subject on portfolio management itself, and then the second subject was on modeling. Modeling and valuations. I read that as a subject, and then third subject which I liked was, it was related to, I guess.
You are already into portfolio management. You know a lot about it. I believe that even after you do an MBA, you would be better in managing portfolio than only a finance graduate, finance masters, and from doing an MBA. Then about modeling, financial modeling, and everything you have already done in your college, and you're already working on of these things. So what all are the different things that you subjects that you must have gone through that you think that could add value to your prior knowledge?
So, firstly, I have not done financial modeling in my college, in my undergrad college, and currently I have been working on basic models.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I read that it was a separate subject. So I thought that there will be a lot more which could add value to, about, like, I have heard till now, I know, like, there are a lot of models which includes, like, DCF is only one part of the model, like it's one sleeve. But apart from that, there are a lot of models about how, if you are going forward for mergers and acquisition, then LBO model, and yeah, like, and a couple of models, like one or two more. Yeah.
Okay. So Viksha, you can take this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, sure. Thank you.
Too
So
many.
since you mentioned about DCF, can you explain what DCF to, imagine I'm a 5-year-old. Explain DCF to me in like 2 minutes.
So DCF is a discounted cash flow method of calculating the valuation of a company. So you know you are a 5-year-old. If I sell you this particular pen which I have with me, so if I sell this for you to at a rupees 10 rupees, so this is a sale of, so I generated a revenue of 10 rupees since you gave that to me. And then particularly I have, my revenue is 10 rupees, so I will use that particular revenue to calculate whatever my valuation would be, and exfoliating it to how it would be in future years.
Is that how it works? You look at the current value and then see how it works in the future years, or the reverse of it?
We look at the current value, and then look at forward at how it will be in future, and um, we basically assume a lot of values, in case like growth values, then tax rate, and there are a lot of things we assume for calculating future projections.
Okay, that's good. And you also mentioned your CV is already very much into finance, and you're very sure that's what you're gonna pursue post MBA. But as you also mentioned, MBA is about holistic growth.
Yeah.
Let's say out of 8 subjects in a semester, you might have maximum of two of finance subjects. So, are you open to learn about the other subjects as well? What is your view on them? How do you think you'll fare in those? And how open are you to explore other domains during your MBA?
So, looking forward to other domains. If I give you an example from my past, like how it had been in college. So, um, during my undergraduate graduation, I particularly chose about economics. So, economics was basically includes subjects like statistics, macro, micro economics. But then moving forward, I had subjects like corporate finance, portfolio management. Even I had operational research, and we had a couple of subjects like in various domains. I have even worked on subjects like psychology, to say. So I have pretty much the knack of working across the diverse domains. So when I'll be doing my MBA, I'm pretty much, open to look to other domains as well, but I will stick towards finance and, uh, deeper my understanding towards it.
You also mentioned the reason you want to do MBA is because in the finance industry, it's a given, it's a mandatory thing for you to do. Are you
Yeah.
doing it only because of that? Because a lot of people do get successful without an MBA. Like Tanishq said, you probably wouldn't learn anything new that you already haven't, given your UG curriculum. Given all these things, do you still think an MBA would add value to your profile, except for let us remove the brand tags aside or even the placements aside? Is it, are you doing it only because it's mandatory, or is there any other push for you to do an MBA?
So, I mentioned that it is important for, like industry mandated thing about doing an MBA. But apart from that, I really think that, doing a post graduation would, really help me build a strong networking further in my, uh, in my career. And then, you know, mo- learning and actually sitting with peers who have diverse range of experiences, that would really help me build on my communication skills as well. And it would further boost my time management skills, since the curriculum in post graduation, like it's very vast and diverse. So it would
But why
really,
not? Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, so it would really boost me to uh, lead to develop further, and would lead to my personal growth as well.
But in that case, you can pursue a master's in economics. Why MBA in particular?
So that's a question that I had actually asked one of my peers in not peers, but she was my manager in my firm itself. So I asked her what is the difference between doing a master's and doing an MBA. So she helped me gauge through how, like, master's is only about like learning new things, and in MBA you actually learn about leadership skills. And you learn how to manage things on your own. Like, she gave an example about how you particularly, your manager knows it well, like when to intervene in between and how to manage the work, what should be the time deadline. So you actually gain about as a leader, like you have to manage it all.
You
Okay,
you
so I mean, that's a lot of things. If there's one thing you look forward to from an MBA, what would that be?
So I look forward to getting, after an MBA, I would be, as I
finance,
said, yeah,
finance,
sorry.
finance.
Fi-
One thing you look
No, no,
forward to is finance.
no, no, not only finance. It is, at the end of the day, it is not only finance, it is personal growth.
Okay.
So, yeah, one has to be dynamic. Like, if industry standards changes and it industry demands something else, I cannot just be saying like I have done my MBA in finance, so that's it. No, like I have to develop as an individual. So after an MBA, I would be looking forward to that.
When you say that,
Last question from my side. Yeah, sorry,
yeah,
Tanish.
go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
You mentioned a lot about your personal growth, but what do you bring to the table? Let's say you are in a diverse pool of 600 candidates and 600 students, and you're one of them. What new would you bring to the table and the institute as a whole?
So since I have been working in a financial service firm and looking forward to a career in finance. So as Tanishk has already mentioned that I will be having a lot more knowledge than what MBA would be teaching us. So I think that I would be able to bring a diverse perspective to the table when they will be discussing about, say, portfolio management and how manage stocks, how different, like across world, how the stock markets, like you ask questions about how to analyze different markets. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it from my side. That's not exactly what MBA conversations are about. Let me give you a heads up. But over to you, Tanish.
Yeah, so uh, I don't think a B school will only take you just because you know how to manage a portfolio and all of these things. And as you mentioned that I praised about your finance knowledge, but that won't be an sole reason that would be a differentiator for you to be selected. Anyways, you mentioned that you have captained, you are a captain, you are a captain in your school, and then you saw your manager, as in leadership position. So what all are the learnings that you had while you were the captain at your school? And you also mentioned that you have managed some events and fest in your UG.
Yeah.
So first question is, give me one learning, and second is, what is the most important thing while managing a team?
So the one most important learning was, like, while managing any event or standing up in a position of a leader, you need people to listen to you. So people will not basically be obeying or listening to you just like that. So you have to come to their level and understand their perspective about how they they think, and how you can convince them towards working for a particular cause. And then moving forward, like as you asked about what particular thing I would do. So
Is that what I
so
asked? Is that what I asked?
uh, I'm sorry, then can you repeat,
No,
please?
it's fine. No, it's fine. I guess I'm done with my questions.
Yeah, I'm done with mine as well. I think we're out of time as well. Do you have any questions for us, Shreya?
No.
Okay, but in that case, Sumit, can we proceed with the feedback right now, or do you have anything to add?
We'll give her a feedback. I guess Sumit isn't involved in giving
Yeah,
feedback.
sure. And he wants you to introduce ourselves as well, Tanishq. So go ahead.
Okay, oh, sure.
Yeah.
Shreya, I'm Tanishk. I'm a senior mentor at PrepBee. I'm into my final year. I'm doing it from Great Lakes, Chennai. I'm majoring in operations, and I don't have a single subject of finance. So that's it.
I am Subiksha. I am a junior mentor. I just joined PrepBee this year. It was fun interacting with you, Shreya, to begin with. I'm doing my first year MBA in FMS Delhi. I'm more into product. Like Tanishq, I have very good idea of finance that I can judge you for your answers, but nothing more than that. And good about stocks as well. Uh, what else about me? I've done my engineering. I also worked for around 3 years before doing my MBA right now. It was more into the sustainability domain, and I did my mechanical engineering. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad my college still has the risk.
I wanted
Uh,
to ask you some questions for psychology. I'm a bachelor's in psychology, but since you only mentioned that you studied psychology too, and then you moved forward, so I thought, let us not ask you who is the father of psychology. Anyways, we'll start with the feedback. So Bhiksha, you can start. Uh,
yeah, sure. To start with, Shreya, good starting. I believe you are kind of prepared to answer most of the questions. But again, there's a lot of scope for improvement as well. One of the good things I liked about it is the subjects you are already aware of, especially when it comes to your domain of work experience, or from your college degree. You are able to counter that well, you are able to take that well, you are able to answer as well. But again, when it comes to slightly grayer areas that we still expect you to talk about, for example, I had a lot of questions about how you manage teams in your work ex or the fest, like Tanish asked towards the end. But I realize you are not as prepared as B school would expect you to be. There would be a lot of behavioral questions there, especially it is not just finance or your academic, how good you are in academics, they would look into, right? As you mentioned, it's leadership skills that they're looking for. So they would ask a lot of questions about that. At least for those that will be frequently asked, like what Tanesh asked, I would expect you to be a bit more prepared. And number two was about your general awareness. At one point, both me and Tanesh felt it's not okay for us to push you harder than what you answered. It is very important that you read the news. Because the basic question they would ask is, do you read the news? And one answer that is least expected is not a bit. That was verbatim what you mentioned. Do not do that. It's December. You still have a couple more months before your interview start. So it's not too late. I would suggest that if you don't have time to read the news, at least listen to them while you're on your walk. That is how I managed to prepare for my GDPA with a full-time job. And yeah, so coming to the communication aspect of it, there were a lot of filler words. If you know what
What
it
is
means,
them?
like, a lot of them. There was a lack of flow when you talk, especially even when it's about yourself, which is one of the most expected questions that you will get. Be a bit more prepared about it. I believe you got too prepared that you forgot what to say next. So do not be that prepared as well that once you forget what is the next point, you go fully blank. Keep it natural, but at the same time, make it structured and have a flow when you do it. And you also panic a lot, especially towards the beginning of the interview when you were not very comfortable with us. You panicked a lot, and it was reflecting in the way you communicate as well. Towards the later end, it got a bit fine. I believe you'll also agree with that. But in the interview room, people would be way older than us, or maybe even strict with you. They wouldn't even smile like we did. So be prepared for that. Do not panic or get nervous. I understand from your answers, it's natural for you to be nervous, but do not at least express it, I would say. In my case, I was just very excited. Even if they ask, I'm nervous, I'd say, I'm not nervous. I'm just very excited because it's a huge opportunity that I've been waiting for so long. I believe it's the same with your case. So put it across that way. It helps you gain confidence for yourself as well. And there were a lot of repetition as well when you talked. There were, like I said, same like filler words, but even when you have actual points, you repeated that twice or thrice. And when about asked about HTI, although you did not need the answer, you at least put across something that you know. That is one thing I liked about you. I wish you did the same for other answers as well. When you know nothing about it, say something in similar to it and then say you'll read about it. But that's just two lines. For something similar question, you said you don't know, you'll read about it, but you went on with this answer for like more than 2 minutes. When you do not know, it's either keep it short, and the same thing with other questions as well. If you know really well about it, keep it to the point. Do not beat around the bush a lot. And the last question on the Haryana population was way off. It's not uh, the million that you talked about, at least about your state as well as where you work right now, like Pune. Be sure of the state numbers, the state GDP, at least the economic aspects of it, and of course the other things as well. And the last comment that I have for you is why you. Basically, I asked why we should pick you in a different way, and the answer was not very convincing to say the least. So make sure you take some time off to prepare more about yourself and what exactly you bring to the table in a B school. So that's it from my side. I'm sorry if I was pretty direct. I hope you take it as good critical feedback and work on it. All the best.
Yeah, thank you so much for your feedback.
Yeah, this was one of the if this was the first interview, so you did pretty well. Okay, I'll be very really honest since I've taken a lot of interviews. Firstly, the fillers. So, I've written down some of your fillers, like, yeah, since, basically, kind of. So these five things you kind of said, no, we don't know, man. We don't know. I've been doing this. No, I don't know. I've been doing that. So you need to. So there are always fillers in all of whatever we speak. Each one of has a fillers, but when it is too evident that it is high time, then you need to work on them. ठीक है, तो पहला तो ये हो गया. Second is that you have got great like you have got answers, but they need structure, as she said. So whenever you are asking out, tell me about yourself, and you are a candidate who has work experience. So you are not you just mentioned that I've been working in finance, and you just that was it on your part. So your interview would revolve around your work experience. Your interview will revolve around your knowledge for finance and everything. So you cannot just include one line for your work ex, not even mentioning a company. I still don't know that what was our, like, how many months of work ex do you have. So you need to tell them I've been working there for 15 months. I am an research analyst, investment analyst, whatever at this company. The company is about. So this is something that you should mention it on your own and not tell me about yourself. Then she said that since you are an economics graduate, and you are too much into economics and numbers and everything, they would expect you to have good knowledge about you know the HDA rank or the population or something related to it. And there were times when I said that, okay, are you sure about it? So you started outing your own answers. Even I don't know that what's the population of Haryana. I just asked, are you sure about it? You were like, I don't know. So there are times that if you're confident about your answers, say it. If you're not, you can say approximately, I'm not sure about it. It would be, and अगर वो गलत है, तो just say that, yeah, I'll check upon it. ठीक है. Secondly, see, you cannot at one end say that I'm much into finance. I want to do an MBA in finance, and then also you say that I'm looking for an holistic growth. There is something that you need to link between both of them. So when you're saying your why MBA, it is always better to link your graduation with your future goals, and how would that bridge be covered by an MBA. So you can say that I want to do this in long term, and I've got my backings, whatever you have done in your graduation or your prior knowledge, and that is how MBA would help me to do it. Okay. So when we ask that, what about what apart from finance, what will an MBA had? So you were like only about jargon and then networking and communication and all of these things. So there are some answers that you need to prepare before you sit for an interview. So basically, you need to work on your behavioral questions. You need to write more things about yourself. See what all things could be asked. So if you're mentioning about stars and everything, you should know कि भाई, if you're mentioning about stars, what all are the some of the constellations? Because they can ask you anything about whatever you say. So if you are speaking something, you should know in and out about all of these things. When I ask you about this is you could be asked a question about what is the difference between a manager and leader. Since you mentioned that there's a reason that you mentioned that you are a captain of whatever you are captaining, you are a head captain, or you were doing some events and fairs in your graduation. So you know that a candidate is looked upon all of these things. So when you're asked a question on it, please try to glorify your answer through it. You cannot just say that one thing is that you need to go ground to themselves and learn, then you forgot the question too. So I asked you two questions, I guess. You didn't answer the second one. Then ETF, आप ETF के बारे में समझा रहे हो, but you don't know about the full form of ETF. So that is what I'm saying. कि अगर आप if you're mentioning anything, please try to start by telling us what all are the basics of it, and then move forward. Okay. Then apart from that, there were some good things. So you know about answers. ये तो अच्छी बात है. You are able to speak on whatever questions you are asked, and uh, and you had a good reply to what you bring to the table, wherein you said that, as Tanish mentioned, that आपने मुझे involve कर दिया कि I praised you because you have prior knowledge all of these things. तो आपने वो point बोला, but then that answer went off the table because we wanted to ask you why should we select you. So not only because of one or two different things we'll select you, we are looking for a bunch of abilities, but bunch of diverse areas that you can help be school in. And I believe that's it from my side too. Yeah, I hope it helped, right?
Yeah, it did. Actually, I forgot about the question because um you mentioned like this is not how it works in like B school conversations are. So at that point, uh,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
So, you know, that
Maybe
this will happen a lot in an actual interview. They'll try to pull you down like anything. This was just one single thing that we said, perhaps in a jest, but make sure that doesn't let you down in any sort of way. At least it doesn't shouldn't hamper you for the rest of the interview. After the interview hall, you can come back, feel whatever you want to, but don't let it affect the course of the interview.
Yeah.
This would be one of the most chill kind of an interview sit in, because we were smiling even if you are not giving an answer well, even if you were throwing jargons about why not about what would will MBA do to you, you are like all of these things. So we know that candidates prepare like this and they answer all of these questions. So even if we are smiling, we don't expect an candidate to you take it on a lighter note or something like that. So you need to calm yourself, एक वो करो, composure बना के रखो, and apart from that you are good to go. Just start with your GDPI prep and everything.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your feedback.
Yeah, and just to keep it lighter again, like overall, like Tanish mentioned, if it's one of your first interviews, then really great job. You're
Yes, yes.
already halfway through it and you have like almost 3 months before the peak interview season starts. I would personally believe you have enough time for you to make betterments to yourself. So best of luck.
Thank you so much.